Good morning, you guys. You're sort of at a funky angle. I have you like propped up under my window, so excuse the weird, the threat of a triple chin. So today, let's see, it is Saturday right now, and I am planning on just sort of spending the day writing, doing some things around the house, hanging out. I tend to use my Saturdays as sort of a relaxed but productive day. I'm not really into like just wasting my Saturday doing nothing, unless obviously I'm going and doing stuff with my family or whatever that looks like. But I do like it to be sort of one of those relaxed, productive days where I'm getting stuff done, but I'm not really under any pressure. I'm not, there's not a bunch of people trying to contact me and yada yada yada. So I just thought that I would sort of take you along with my day here. I'm going to start by getting ready. I go back and forth as far as my getting ready habit. A lot of times I will get into the habit of getting ready and, putting makeup on and, doing the whole thing. And I always just feel so much better. Like, I just feel very productive when I get ready in the morning, when I'm, like dressed and ready to go. I always feel a lot more productive. But then I get lazy sometimes and I don't do it. And then, I fall into disarray. Let's see if I can't. That might be a little bit better if I do that. You're like zoomed in on me real funky. So I just felt like, okay, you know what? I just need to start getting ready. I need to make that a big part of my daily habit, is just getting ready in the morning, even if it's just very minimal makeup and just a simple hairdo and simple outfit, whatever. But I need to actually get ready in the morning. I have never been one to hang out in my pajamas. I will say that. I was homeschooled, and I don't know if it's still a thing now, because homeschooling's pretty popular now, but when I was homeschooled, it was still sort of foreign and very mysterious to a lot of people. And so growing up, whenever I would say, oh yeah, I'm homeschooled, the first question, I kid you not, the first question was always, do you do school in your pajamas? And the second question was always, how do you make friends? To answer your first question, I never did school in my pajamas. My mom was always a very firm believer in, you get up and you get ready. It is just, you get up and you get ready. So I've sort of always been programmed to do that, but sometimes I get, a little bit sloppy. I always get dressed and I always wash my face and everything like that, but putting makeup on just makes me feel, it's not like it makes me feel more confident or anything like that, but it just makes me feel more put together, and it makes me feel more awake, let's put it that way. Because, yeah, I don't really feel the need to wear makeup in order to look pretty or look nice. I feel like that's not my goal at all. My goal really is just like, okay, I'm fresh-faced, I feel fresh, I feel ready, right? So that's why I put makeup on. Right now I'm just tweezing my eyebrows because the brows get pretty crazy. So yeah, I was just planning on doing some writing today. That's my main goal. I have laundry to do, and I might clean a little bit around the house, but for the most part, I am just focused on writing. I actually did an exercise I think it was on Monday maybe. I did this exercise, and I think I'm following her. So I can actually link the video down below that I watched to find this exercise, and it was actually super beneficial. There's just something about the video that I felt like I needed to click it, and then I started watching it, and a lot of things rang true for me in that video, because she was talking a lot about how, there are those of us, I'm talking about myself and probably you as well, it's like you have so many interests and you have so many things that you want to do and that feel important, and that, you know, oh, I want to do this and I want to do it right and I want to do it well and I want to grow and I want it to succeed. And so you're just doing all of this stuff, but you don't have time to do all of it, and you don't have time to do all of it to the best of your ability because you feel like it's all equally important. And so she basically shared this exercise that helped me, and it will probably help you, really identify, like, what is that big thing? What's the big thing that you need to focus on in your life? You know, the other things that you want to do, they're still important, and the other things that you know, are sort of doing and creating and pursuing, it's not like you're not still there, right? Like, this YouTube channel is still there. I still love creating YouTube videos. I'm still doing it. But I'm approaching it differently than I was. And during that exercise, it was revealed to me that writing is literally, it has been my #1 priority for over a decade. And I've been so distracted, and I've been so, like, loosey-goosey with it, and just so, I haven't prioritized it. It's been a priority, but I haven't prioritized it in my life and in my schedule. And so I've been really, this week, making serious strides to make it a priority, and to, you know, to try and write a little bit every day, and, you know, when I have a free day, when I have a good chunk of time, to really get into writing and to make that my priority. That's what I'm planning on doing today. And like I said, I can link the video that I watched down below, because it was like such a simple video and such a simple exercise, and it was very impactful. So yeah, I will link that down below. But right now I'm going to put some makeup on my face, and then yeah, we will go from there. Alright, so I'm currently putting my foundation slash concealer, because I've just been using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, because it's gluten-free, and as you know, I am completely gluten-free. But a couple of things here. So my face is sort of, I'm not going to say it's been having a breakout, because, again, like I've said before, I've never had true acne. My sister had true acne, and so I will never, ever, ever say, oh my word, this breakout though. But I have been having more blemishes on my face. And so I think that that is caused by a couple of different things. I think that I've just personally been under a lot of stress. But also, I think that I've had a couple of items in my makeup that might have been irritating, and I've been really looking for makeup brands that are gluten-free, and so Tarte is the main one that I've found that is gluten-free. But the other brand that I'm super interested in trying right now is, I think, Jouer. I think that's how you say it, is Jouer. So they are a gluten-free brand. So I'm looking for gluten-free makeup, and I'm looking for gluten-free skincare. So just products that they are celiac safe, since that is my battle. And I tell people all the time, celiac is a contact sport, okay? It is not just, oh, I'm not eating it, I'm not around it. Like, celiac is literally, you are not making things in the same area as gluten. You, like, there's no contact with gluten. So that goes the same, like, with makeup as well, is where it's like, okay, this is gluten-free, like, it's a gluten-free product. So I'm really interested in trying Jouer, just because, I don't know, I've been finding that brands with a smaller makeup selection, I've been finding them a lot more appealing, just because I look at them and I think, I automatically feel like, okay, you are taking the time to create a quality product and not just a massive quantity of products. And obviously, Tarte is a very nice brand, and so I wouldn't mind looking into foundation by them, especially with how their Shape Tape, the concealer, is performing, because I really like how that looks on my skin. I tried this is not gluten-free. I tried they don't say it's gluten-free, let's put it that way. The Morphe Light Form foundation. I do not like this. It does not, like, I don't know, it doesn't lay down and like blend out on the skin. It gets really choppy and it separates on my skin super easy. I mean, I'll be wearing it for like 2 hours and my face looks all patchy. So I'm not really a fan of that. But I really like how the Tarte has been laying on my skin, but I am really interested in trying Jouer as well. So if you guys have tried Jouer before, let me know what your thoughts are, if you really like it, and if you, yeah, what your favorite products are, because I am really interested. I remember when Jouer like came out and was entering the beauty space, and all of the beauty gurus were talking about Jouer. I think it was lip product, like they had a lipstick or a lip gloss or something. And I just remember thinking that the brand was so beautiful. And the brand really is. It's beautiful. But now I'm looking at it as, well, I think your ingredients are sound. So, yeah, that's sort of the next brand that I'd like to try as far as makeup goes. I also really need mascara. Holy cow, I'm running out. So I've been having a little bit of, like, again, I think a lot of this is stress. I've been having some blemishes on my chin here, like right along my chin. You can see a little bit right here, and then along my hairline as well. So, yeah, I think that the stress has been getting to me. We're in the process of figuring that out, though. Okay, there you are. Sort of propped up, kind of funny. I decided I was going to take a break from my writing and sort of paint my nails. I've been really working to try and just keep my nails, let's say, under control, because I don't know, I am not a fan of like chip nail polish or untidy nails or stuff like that. I mean, I would rather my nails be bare than have chipped nail polish. That is just my thing. And I think that comes from being OCD, but then also just my mom, it was always like chip nail polish is just not okay. I've been trying to find a nail polish that I really like that lasts a long time, and I'm trying, I feel like they sent these to me. This is Nail Reserve nail polishes, and they have like a little light here. So I have a couple of polishes. This one is like a white sparkly one. And it's sort of okay. I'm trying to figure out how to use it. Because they have the light, and you're supposed to like put it on and like use the light on it, and then yada yada yada, but it just seems like it's not actually sitting. It seems like it's always sort of sticky. And I don't know, like there's no details on that portion of it. Like, is it supposed to be sticky? And so, yeah, I really like the color. Can you see it? Maybe if I hide. Can't tell if it's focusing or not, but that's sort of the color of it, is like this pearly white color. And I really like the color. But yeah, I'm just sort of not sure about the tackiness of it. I'm going to put a top coat on it and see how it does. See if it actually sets nice, or if it starts peeling off. Because that'd be a bummer. But yeah, I just decided that I was going to take a break, do my nails, stuff like that. I'm doing some laundry. And yeah, it's raining, which I'm totally into. I don't know about you, but whenever I'm writing, if you are a writer, whenever I'm writing, I just feel very inspired by rain. It's like it starts raining and it just puts me in this place and I get inspired and all this stuff. So I'm digging the rain. I'm thinking I am going to exercise at some point in time today. I'm really trying to stay pretty consistent with my exercise, and I've decided to do more yoga over the next month. I think I'm just gonna do basically a month of yoga because, like I've said before, I am a weightlifter, but I've really noticed a lot of tightness in my back and in my hips and my hamstrings, and I don't like it. I don't like that I'm super tight or sore or any of that kind of stuff. I used to take like ballet and everything like that. I danced for close to 15 years. And I was so used to being, very flexible and everything like that. And so even when I was in college, I was not okay with not stretching. It's sort of this feeling of like I'm used to being flexible and I'm used to, not feeling super stiff. And so whenever I feel really stiff and sore and tight like that, it's almost like I feel restrained. So I'm really going to try and do more yoga and implementing more yoga into my exercise routine. And so I think that I just need to, for like a month, just start getting back into the groove of yoga, and then I can sort of sprinkle in, sort of start a new routine for weightlifting and yoga and sort of meshing the two together, because I haven't really had a good yoga routine and a yoga practice in about a year, and it shows. It really shows. So I'm gonna do that today. But yeah, I've sort of been having a little bit of a block on my writing. It's like I know the story. I know the story and I know what I want to say. I know what it is. But, there's those little moments in any story that it's like they're not super important or crucial to the story itself and the plot line itself, but they're still important, and it's like this transition, very personable moments for your characters. And yeah, it's sort of difficult for me to write those sometimes because it's like, oh, I know exactly what the plot is. I know exactly what's going to happen. But this isn't super important. It's more of a get to know the character kind of piece. For those of you who are writers, I would be sort of interested to know how you view your characters. I think that how people view characters is super interesting. So I view my characters as people that I've met. It's like they're not my creations. It's more of I encountered them, I discovered them, and I met them, and then I feel this need to tell their story. Like, I didn't sit down and do this character analysis and create my character and stuff like that. It's been a process over the last 10 years of me learning about them and getting to know them, and it's almost felt like this relationship with them where they're my friends. And it probably sounds really creepy and weird, but like they're not based off of anybody. I don't have like people in my life that these characters are inspired by. They're just sort of like they're people that I know. They're completely different people. They're just, it's like a friend that I've met and that I just continue to get to know better and better and better. But like I also know people that they create a character and they like build the character, right? And the character plays a role and yada yada yada. But with my story, let me go get my top coat. But with my story and my characters, it's felt a lot more like, oh, I met them. It's like they just sort of came upon me, and they just continued like telling me about them, telling them about themselves, and I just feel a need to tell their story. Like, that's how it feels. That's what it really feels like to me. I've thought before, like, oh, like maybe I should change this person's name because like their name is the same name as somebody I do know, but then I think about it and it's like, no, that's just their name. Like, I know several people with the same name. This is just their name. I can't change their name. And so, yeah, like, if you are a writer, or if you have characters, I think that most people sort of have characters in mind, or imaginary friends, or, you know, just people in their head, right? How would you describe them? Like, would you describe them as people that you've just sort of discovered and met, and that you just continue learning more and more and more about? Or do you consider the characters in your head something that you've created and that you know, are building as you go along? How would you describe characters that you've created? If you're a writer, if you're not, I mean, I think that most of us have some kind of internal life, some mental existence where, you know, oh, there's people, right? Like, I don't know. So yeah, I'd be sort of interested. I'd also be interested to hear, like, how you guys read books. Because my sister and I were talking about this not too long ago. And we were talking about how we read a story. And for her, she's like, when I read a book, I want to basically become the character. Like, she wants to live out the story. She wants to find her place in the story and participate in the story. Whereas for me, how I basically encounter a story is that once again, it's like I'm meeting the characters and they're telling me the story. They are telling me, well, this is what happened to me, and then this is what happened to me, and like, I don't want to live out the story. I just want to hear about the story. Whereas my sister, she's like, I'm living out the story, and if I can't find my place in the story, then I don't like the book. And so it is very interesting. So how do you guys encounter stories? Do you want to find your place in the story and become one of the characters and live it out and do it and be a part of the story? Or do you just like to listen to the characters and hear the story and have the story be told to you? I think that's really interesting. Because, yeah, I do not experience the story at all. I listen to it and am a little bit more, like, empathetic to the story. I'm not experiencing it, but I'm empathetic to it. Whereas my sister's like, oh no, I am Katniss Everdeen. That's my sister, 100%. So, yeah, I put a top coat on these nails. We'll see how they do. I use this, Sally Hansen Dries Instantly top coat. I actually really like it. It's a nice top coat, and it dries instantly. It's not lying when it says that. Yeah, so I really like it. We'll see how the nails do. Not too bad. I didn't go out on my skin too much, so not a bad job, Ellison, if I do say so myself. So something that I've been sort of working on the last week, I'm gonna say, it's been the last week, yeah, is the idea that I don't have to be a big deal. And, like, I don't mean that in the, oh, well, I want to be, like, rich and famous and yada yada yada. Let me grab my coffee. This takes coffee. But, like, for a really long time, I've always had sort of this thought pattern of, well, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna be great, and it's gonna be huge, this massive success, and it's gonna be like life-changing, and I'm gonna have massive impact, and like I'm gonna be super successful and all this stuff. And in the last week, it's been sort of this big lesson in the idea that I don't have to be a big deal. And I don't have to make myself into a big deal. And I don't have to, in order to have success and be happy in my life, I don't have to be big. You know, I think that we see a lot of people that, you know, everything is mega size. You know, oh, I have millions of followers on this social media platform. I'm a bestseller. I make millions. I live in this gorgeous, massive apartment. Right? Everything is big and everything is super successful. Like over the top success is what we see. And I got to thinking about it, that is like, maybe the biggest thing I can do is be okay with being small and just doing what I feel led to do, feeling what I feel inspired to do, and not be so worried about, well, I'm going to do this and it has to be a major success. Instead, thinking, you know what, I want to do this, and I really don't care if it's a mega success or not. I just want to do it, and I feel like I need to do it, and I love it, and yeah. I mean, it's been like that with, you know, the virtual assistant stuff. It's been like that with my writing and with this YouTube channel, is where it's like, I don't have to be big. I don't have to be this mega impactful, successful person in order to be happy, in order to have any sort of impact, in order to experience success. I don't have to be big. And that sort of struck me on Sunday. I was like driving home from church and everything, and just like feeling super, I don't know. It was like I felt like there was something that I needed to learn, some sort of lesson that, you know, I've been needing to learn and figure out. And I was just like thinking and thinking and thinking on this drive home. And then it just hit me that it was like, I have been trying to be a big deal. And I thought, I've been thinking for so long, oh, I'm so humble, and I'm just like little old me, just trying to have an impact. And my need for impact and my need for bigness was like my biggest source of pride, and has been what has been holding me back. You know, this need to not just do something, but to make a major splash. And to not just do something, but to be the best at it. And, you know, I've just come to a place where it's like, you know what? I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to do what I love to do. And I'm going to feel what I'm inspired to do. You know, whether it's, creating these vlogs and these little day-in-the-life videos on YouTube, writing my story and not giving a crap what people think about it, following the virtual assistant path and not being so worried about, oh, how can I be the best of the best and have this lasting, like, don't worry about that. All of that stuff comes naturally. The impact, the success, the purpose, the bigness, even in smallness, all of that comes when you are existing out of a place that is content, and when you are existing out of a place that it's like, yep, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, when you feel so aligned with what you're doing, and you just feel like, yeah, this is right, and I genuinely don't care about numbers. I genuinely don't care about whether or not other people like it or see it or want anything to do with it. I don't care. I just love it. When you are operating out of that, that's when you start to see true success. And it took me back to when I was dancing. You know, I said moments ago that I danced for 15 years. And I thought about it, and it was like, I wasn't making money. Like, I didn't make a dime being a ballet dancer in high school. Okay, I didn't make a dime. It wasn't like I had a fan club. It wasn't like I had this massive audience. Like, none of that. But I was successful in my own right, and I was very talented, and I was very good at it. And I was so content with it, and I just loved it, and I did it because, you know what, I love ballet. And I don't care what anybody thinks about ballet. I don't care what anybody thinks about me being in ballet. I don't care what anybody says to me. I don't care if people think it's really stupid. I don't care if people think it's ridiculous. I don't care. Like, I don't care. I just love it, and I want to do it. And because of that, I was shameless about it, and I did what I wanted. And so, thinking about that, it was like, that's where I need to operate now. Is out of a place of, I really don't care what people are thinking. I like to create YouTube videos, so I'm going to make YouTube videos that I like. I like writing, so I'm going to write the book that I like. You know, I like virtual assisting, and so I'm going to find a way to make that my job. I don't have to be a big deal. You know, and I think that that's very freeing because it takes all the pressure off of me to be the big deal that for so long I've felt like I've needed to be. And so yeah, that's been a pretty big thing for me in the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 days, and just been churning in my mind. And it's really had a lot of impact on how I've approached everything that I'm doing. So I don't know if you needed to hear that. I don't know if that's helpful for you. Hopefully it is. Hopefully you hear that and think, oh wow, like that's so true. So yeah, update on the nails. They dried down beautifully once I put the top coat on. Let me see if you can see them a little bit better now. There it is. There it is. So yeah, it's a very pretty, like, pearly color. I really like it. I was worried that the tackiness that it had after painting them and using the light on them, I was worried that the tackiness would mess with the top coat, but I think they're supposed to be tacky. So yeah, I like it. It worked out. So hello, good evening. Actually, I took a break yesterday, and then today I've sort of just had. It hasn't really been a busy day, but I mean, look at me. I mean, I'm makeup free. I'm just living my best today. It is Monday, and I sort of had a day. I didn't really have a lot to do for my one virtual assistant client that I have. And so I've sort of been spending the day writing, and I've been sort of struggling with my writing the last couple of days. It's like, I might have mentioned this earlier in the video, I can't be sure, but I'm sort of in this place where it's like, I know the story, I know what happens, I know exactly what happens, but I'm really struggling to write it. So I've sort of been in the process of trying to actually get my thoughts out and trying to actually express what the story is. So the last couple of days has been me desperately trying to do that and figuring it out. But yeah, it is, what is it? It's almost 4:30 right now. And yeah, just been writing today. I just did some yoga. Like I said, I've been trying to do more yoga, and I think I'm going to take July to just be doing yoga and not really trying so much to, I don't know, do the weightlifting thing. I've been a weightlifter for about, let's see, I started my senior year in college doing weightlifting. No, it's probably actually my junior year in college. So about 4 or 5 years I've been a weightlifter. Not like bodybuilding, super serious weightlifting. That's just my preferred mode of exercise. I'm not really about, oh, I want to have be at a certain weight or have a certain, you know, muscle mass, body fat. You know, I'm not all about that. I just like weightlifting. And I really like sort of the idea of weightlifting, and it just makes me feel really strong doing it. But the one thing with weightlifting is that when you do it, I'm sort of out of breath. That yoga practice was intense. So, excuse me. But with weightlifting, I mean, obviously, stretching is not really, flexibility is not necessarily the goal. Obviously, there's a focus on mobility, and they talk about mobility, but it's not really in the sense of, oh, we want you to be super flexible. It's not really the goal or the purpose of weightlifting exercises. And so I've just felt really tight for a long time, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I like being flexible, and yeah, I just really felt like I needed to take a month off and do some yoga, and that's what I'm doing, and sort of just trying to do it every day, because with the weightlifting, I don't do it every day. When I am weightlifting, I usually lift about 3, maybe 4 days a week. And I'd like to increase that, but usually weightlifting workouts are a little bit longer than your typical, you know, 20-minute yoga practice. Usually weightlifting, it takes me about 45 to 50 minutes to do an entire workout. So it takes a little bit longer. So I don't do it as many times during the week. But with yoga, it's pretty easy to, I'm going to take a break and do a 20-minute yoga class. That's pretty easy for me to do. So that's what I just finished doing. A little update on the nail polish situation. So I wasn't a fan. I didn't really like it. Because, so obviously I thought, okay, maybe I just need to put a top coat on it, because it didn't matter how many times I put my nail polish on under the light, it wouldn't set. It stayed tacky. The nail polish would not set, excuse me, to like at all. And so I thought, okay, well maybe I just need to put a top coat on it. Maybe it's just always going to be tacky. Put a top coat on it. It seemed like, oh yeah, this is awesome, like a great situation going on here. But then I woke up in the morning and one of them was peeling, and I was literally, well, at first I thought, oh no, I just painted my nails, one of them is peeling or chipping, and I'm gonna have to spend like 45 minutes taking this polish off so I don't have crappy looking nails. But then literally all of them just peeled off. So I'm not really a fan of that brand of polish that I was using. I do. So I think it was like maybe 1 or 2 years ago, I found, so Kathleen Lights, she has a nail polish brand. I don't know if you've heard. It's a great brand. I've used her polishes before. I've purchased and used her polishes before. She has a great like base coat and top coat product too that I've personally used, and I really like it. And so I'm sort of thinking about at some point in time investing or buying some of her polishes. She just released a collection called Something Borrowed, so it's a bridal collection. Oh my word, the colors are literally right up my alley. Like all these like nudie, pearly whites and tans, and just it's a beautiful collection. And so I've actually been thinking about getting those because they're pretty affordable for as nice of a product as it is. When I got the polishes before, it was like, these are like super nice, and they're like $11, which obviously it's not like going and getting a $2 nail polish at Walmart, but for the quality of the polish that they are, it's a nice polish and a really good price. So I was sort of thinking about doing that at some point in time. I'm not sure when. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's sort of the update for today. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I really wanted to tell you. So I have an interview tomorrow with the virtual assistant agency that I am thinking about, that I would like to join, basically. I have an interview tomorrow, and so I've been working on gathering my questions, and that is how, little blurb here, that's how I always approach my interviews, is that, let me grab my water because I'm a thirsty lady. That's how I always approach my interviews, is I'm there to ask just as many questions as they are. When I was in school, well, in college, I actually worked for career services in college. Like, the best job ever. Had an amazing team that I was working with, and I learned so much. And obviously, it is sort of common knowledge. I'm not going to say it, everybody knows it, but most people know that when you go into an interview, you should have some questions prepared to ask them, because it shows that you are truly interested in the position. And I've sort of, in my life in general, I've sort of taken that to heart, where it's like, with anything that I desire to do or that I'm even nervous about, because usually when you're nervous about something, it means you care. It means that I'm very intrigued and I really want this to happen and to work out. And that's sort of how I feel about this whole virtual assistant agency, is that I'd really like this to work out. This is a great opportunity, and I feel like it's going to open a lot of doors and open the next chapter of my life for me to a degree. And I could easily get super nervous about it because it really feels like a major stepping stone. But I've sort of taken on, throughout the last few years, this come from where I am approaching the situation with just as much curiosity as they are approaching me. So when I say that, I mean that I'm not going into the interview just thinking, I hope they like me. You know, and I mean, you could do this with anything, right? You could do this with a date. You could do this with any sort of social setting in general, is where don't just go at it from this perspective of, oh my word, I need to be on like my best behavior. I need to be my best self. Obviously, you do need to be your best self always, no matter what the situation is. You need to at least try. But don't just worry about that, but think about, well, what am I interested in? What do I want to know about them? Because I guarantee flat to you, there's something you want to know about them. And not just like, oh, what does your company do? Or, oh man, like, not basic questions, but truly, like, how does this work? What is, like, what would my role look like? What would the day-to-day look like? What would, you know, tell me more about your company, and really, like, maybe how it got started, how you got started, what your passion was, you know, how you were able to build this, you know, anything like that. Or really, for me, a lot of my questions are, how does this work? How do I do this? How do I actually make this work for me? How do I perform to the best of my ability for your company? What do you want me to do? And just putting it out there, how am I getting paid? Because this is my business, right? And so I have to say that that come from has actually really helped me a lot in interviews, but also in any kind of situation where I'm meeting somebody new or I'm in a new environment, is where, you know what, I'm just going to come at this from a place of curiosity and a place of, I don't know, I'm here to learn, I'm interested, and yeah, I'm here to ask questions, and it's okay that I don't know, it's okay that I have questions, and it's okay that I'm curious. And yeah, that's really helped me a lot in a lot of areas in my life where I could easily get nervous and easily get scared, and easily, when those things are the case, easily basically sabotage myself. And so yeah, I've worked on that a little bit as well, with just gathering my questions and getting things ready. For my current client that I have, this week is actually going to be super quiet, I think, which has afforded me the opportunity to write a lot. But this week is the 4th of July, and so I don't think I'm going to have a lot to do in general. I think she's going to be out of town for the holiday, and I don't know. I don't really go out of town for anything. All of my family's in a like 15-mile radius, so I'm not going anywhere. So it's just gonna be a really quiet week, and I'm a-okay with that. If I don't check in later, I will check in with you tomorrow, perhaps after my interview, and just to sort of give you a little debrief of how everything went. Also, I don't know if this might happen later this week, later in this video, but I am getting the second round of Dossier perfumes, and I'm super excited about the ones that I am getting to review for you this week. They are a little bit more of lighter, fruitier, fresher fragrances, more florally fragrances. I know that my last review of Dossier, I had some pretty heavier, oh my word, yikes, pretty heavy fragrances, very warm fragrances, that are sort of more appropriate for winter. I was just so excited I had to get my hands on those first. But the next two, I'm very excited about the next two that I'm getting. And so that might be in this video, or it'll be in the next video. I don't know, we'll find out, we'll see, won't we? So yeah, super excited about that. Be looking forward to that, because I am. Wow, I look very tired. Yikes. Anyways, so today I had my interview with the virtual assistant agency that I applied for, and just sort of going through the motions of trying to get started with them, which would be an awesome opportunity because I think that it would just really open up a lot of doors for me as far as obtaining clients and really shifting me more into the lifestyle that I'd like to live. A little bit more of a flexible lifestyle. Not that I wouldn't be working. Okay, I always want to make that very clear that anything that I am doing, I will always be working. And I think that, I don't know, I really feel like that's sort of something that a lot of people just assume, that if you are a freelancer, or if you are a content creator, if you are self-owned, if you are doing things that allow you to have a very flexible lifestyle, it's sort of assumed that you aren't working at all, which is 100% not the case. I would argue that a lot of times those of us that are freelancing, that are doing very unconventional jobs, that there are a lot of times that we do work longer. I'm not going to say harder, but longer. We work more hours just because that's sort of what is required. We're always on. We're always sort of, yeah, on duty, always sort of on call, always being sort of ready to do something for somebody. But yeah, so that would be a really awesome opportunity if I was able to work with them and get on their list of virtual assistants, just because that, like I said, that would really open the door for me to obtain more clients and just be able to change my lifestyle to really look more in alignment with what I'm aiming for. As far as the job, like the client that I do currently have, I really don't have a lot of work to do for her this week. And so things have sort of been quiet on that front, and it's given me a lot of time to write. I've gotten a lot of writing done, and I've gotten a lot of things done that were sort of a struggle for me to get through. Like a lot of parts written that it was like, I'm struggling here. So yeah, I've had a very productive day. I'm not going to say that it's been a super go day or a super checking a bunch of things off my list kind of day, but I've been productive and I feel really good about how I'm wrapping this day up. So, yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for today. I'm not sure if this is going to be the end of the vlog, end of the whole situation here or not. Again, I am still waiting for the Dossier perfumes, so that might be in the next video, I'm not sure, but yeah, I will keep you in the loop with all of that stuff. Oh boy, you guys, look at what we've got. So excited. We have 2 fragrances for more of the summer fresh season, so the warmer season, fresher scents. So excited.